Hey guys, my name is Andres, and this is my story. So, just to give you guys a little bit of background, growing up, going to the church, reading the Bible, praying at night was something that I was actually not used to. Yes, my family was Catholic and some went to church, but our mindset was more that we were taught that we should pray only where we were scared or something wrong was going on. The times that I remember going to church growing up as I was a kid was usually baptisms, weddings, or something related to a festivity. And that was pretty much how I grew up. As I got older and I went into my teens, I went to college, I obviously God was not present in my life. My motto growing up was the following one actually. It said that everything I am and everything I'm not, it's because of me. And that was pretty much how I lived my life. I pretty much understood that all the decisions I made in my life actually were because of me. And that was it. Okay, there was no purpose behind it. So fast forward a few years ago, I became a doctor. I'm a chiropractor. Decided to open my own practice in Puerto Rico. That's where I'm from actually, originally. And still with that same motto, not having God in my life or anything, I started to do all the processes to build my business. And I started to notice something very awkward and very weird. And it was that every decision that I made, there was a huge boulder in front of me, and there was always a challenge. But because I had that mindset, I was pushing against that. And I wanted everything in my life to be in my time and the way I wanted it. That was pretty much it. So every time I pushed, life pushed back. And that went on for like 8 months to the point where I was at in Puerto Rico, we got hit by a big hurricane. And that was pretty much the message that I had to leave the island. So a few months later, I end up in a little area in the United States called Fort Collins. I would have never known that I was going to end up here. But to my surprise, one of my coworkers, her name was Amy Grubel. And I think that everything I am to this day, I owe a big part to her. Because she and her husband, Casey, they were the ones that introduced me to a person. His name is Pastor Chris. And I remember sitting down with Pastor Chris, and he asked me a few questions. Like, when you think about the church, what comes to mind? Right? And one of the biggest issues I had was that growing up, God wasn't really present. It's not that we discarded it, but it wasn't present. So one of the questions he asked me, so are you ready to accept God in your life? And he explained to me how God worked in the Bible and everything. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to accept God in my life. So fast forward, we started working. I started understanding more about God's work. And I started noticing that model that I have for so many years actually started shifting to the point where I can look back now and say over the last few years that everything I am, it's because of him. And that's totally different. And everything I've done in my life from that point on, I've understood that he's always in control, that it's always on his time, that he's always building and creating a path that I should follow. And don't get me wrong, there's times where I wake up in the morning and I just want to take control, but then I remind myself that he's actually in control. And 2 minutes later I freak out again, but he's always in control. And it has been a huge blessing because having God in my life, it's a whole game changer because it feels like all the weight that I had in my shoulders and all that responsibility, I have let go of it. Okay, because he's always in control. And the coolest part of it is that as I have done that over the years, new people have come in my life that have nurtured and helped me create a better relationship when it comes to God. Okay? One of the gifts that I was granted was the skill or the art or the gift of singing and playing guitar. And for years I played all kinds of music. When I met Pastor Chris and Amy and Casey, they said, do you want to be part of the worship team at Christ the Rock? And I have never played worship music. I've never heard worship music. And I said, I'm gonna go for it. Because if he gave me a gift, I might as well use it to worship him. And it's been about 8 months that I've been part of the worship team at Christ Rock. And far more than a performance and singing, every time I step on that stage, which we don't have any stage, but that stage, it's all about him. And it's all a different level. And hopefully my story and my gifts that God gave me can serve you guys to find God as well, or solidify at least that relationship. And remember that everything you are, it's not because of you, but because of him.